Welcome to Market Edge, ahead of the trade from Mission Winners. I'm your host, Owen Larson, and we've got a great episode for you today. Each week, we break down the key market trends and highlight where institutional money is flowing, helping you stay ahead of the trade. We'll start with a full ETF market review from Pat, where he'll walk us through the leading sectors, the weakest areas to avoid, and the overall market picture. So let's turn it over for this week's ETF market review.
Weekly on the left, daily on the right. What looks good on a weekly might not look good on the daily, and what look good on the daily may not look good on the weekly. You combine both together and you can see better setups, clearer setups, and make more money. And it works, honest to goodness. So we look at the weekly, nice base on the spiders on the weekly, and nice base on the spiders chart on the daily. And you can see, though, there's a tail bar here and here, here, and here. It needs to lift through that top with volume. That would be nice to see. And again, choppier on the daily, but the weekly looks pretty good. And again, couple of the handles, something to watch going forward on the spiders. That's also good then that's the S&P 500. That's also good for the entire market. NASDAQ 100 QLD looks decent. It's a little bit stronger on the weekly and looks good on the daily. Clean tops across here, and I'll draw the line to help you. And folks, it doesn't need to be fancy, okay? Simplicity is a good thing. Let's be very objective about this. And again, I got a degrees in psychology, background in that area. Charts are a reflection of human emotions. And what do we want to see? We want to see some calmness in the chart. That normally leads to a good advance. Wild and whippy action like this, that'll chew you up. Don't impose your will on it. Let the price and volume action guide you. I really mean that from my heart, okay? I'm serious. We lived off our investing profits for decades. It's all we had. And, you know, it worked. I'm thankful. So what do we want to see? QQQ. Take out these tops just with volume. Best thing it could do is maybe form a little handle here to digest some of these recent gains. There we go. There's QQQ. Let's move on. ARKK, that one's a little stronger. Look at this. QQQ hasn't broken out above the tops yet, has it? ARK Innovation has. It's telling you that the stocks in ARKK are outperforming the market, right? They're doing better than the NASDAQ 100. So you could do a Google search on ARKK or a Bing search if you want, and go in there and see what's in there that's leading. And you might find some opportunities. But it had a decent base breakout. You can see it on the weekly, coupled with a high handle. That's why we do this. Guides us into the areas. And yes, are we heavy in technology? Oh yeah, we're heavy in technology. Heavy. I've been riding it for a while. Next generation internet working good. That's nice to see. Don't chase it, but it's power. Biotechnology. Now there's the opposite of the coin. You say, well, what does that say? Well, this one doesn't look too bad. Yeah, nice. Well, this one don't look so good. It's near those weekly or daily lows. And it is near weekly lows. Stay away from biotechnology. Done. Energy, still basing here. There's no power in it yet. I'd be cautious with energy. Dow Jones Internet. Oh, look, another Internet ETF. Acting fine. What does that say? Well, we've been looking at some Internet stocks. There you go. You're guiding it. IBD 50, ETF, the leading stocks from IBD 50. Looks fine. That's nice to see. It's telling us that they're buying leadership. They're buying quality. Gold miners is acting pretty good. A little bit of a bearish engulfing bar right here, okay? And these are things you take heed of. But what's the trend? The trend is up. But you combine price and volume. This is a great tactic. It gaps up, it runs up, it reverses down on a pickup in volume. When you see that action, what could you do? Sell a little bit. Sell 10 or 20%. Not all of it. Sell something and guarantee profits. There you go. Ease in, ease out of the stocks. That'll help you a lot. Gold, still great shapes too. A little bit of selling right here, okay? And what do we do? Yesterday we sold a little bit off. Not all of it, we sold, I think, 10%. That's it. That's all. Well, I'm gonna take all of it. No, don't do that to yourself because it could stop here and keep on going. Take a little bit, you're guaranteed a profit. No matter what happens, you're gonna make good money on it. That's what we do. That's what we're after. Which also leads to clearer thinking and less stress, which also leads to clearer thinking, right? Stress can derail thought processes. Here we go. Cybersecurity's acting fine. Cybersecurity stocks, you could look into that. It's trending nicely. Biotechnology, stay away. I mean, folks, really, look. It's slop. Leave it alone. Online retail, acting fine. You know, maybe look at a small, we're involved with online retail. There you go. Continue onwards. Software technology. I like this space. Here, we'll get rid of this line and we'll put in a new line. See, I'm doing this real time, folks. Isn't that neat? The joys of modern technology. There you go. It's just a simple base. What does it need? It needs to lift off on volume. Now, here's a great lesson for everybody. Oh, Pat, that's a red selling bar, buddy. What are you talking about? Why are you looking at this? Watch this. I enlarged it to show you. This is the bar. It gapped down, it fell, and reversed and closed in the top fourth or fifth of its daily range on a pickup in volume. Folks, they didn't sell that bar. They bought that bar. Look where it opened. Look at where it closed on volume. That is a great chart reading lesson. I used to teach that at the IBD meetups. Never had anybody heckle me either. There we go. All right. IHI, medicine's acting fine. Maybe looking at some medical stocks. Just basing up here. Good to see. Shrink that one more time frame. There we go. Mid-cap. Okay. iShares mid-cap, kind of lagging. Tells you to kind of stay away from the mid-cap stocks. There you go. Aerospace and defense is just basing. Isn't showing a lot of power. Here's another great tactic that we use in Mission Winners. Oh, look, it fell on fairly heavy volume here, didn't it? Oh, and then it was kind of meandering around. Oh, look, it fell on an increase in volume here too. What does that tell? There's sellers up here. Stay away from it for right now. There you go. Home construction, there's nothing there. Leave it alone. I wouldn't even rent it. Okay, bad pun. Had to say it. It'll eventually turn, but for right now, stay away from it. S&P 500 growth doesn't look too bad on the weekly or the daily. Look into some growth stocks. And yes, we have, and yes, we do own them. Okay, small caps still lagging. Not a lot of power there. Be careful with the small caps. Real estate is basing, but it's underperforming the market. I mean, look at IWM's underperforming the market. Growth is doing pretty well, but then you go back down here again, and you can say, real estate still kind of underperforming. Not a lot of power, a little bit of selling pressure right there. Transportation's picking up a little bit, but a lot of overhead supply. This needs to show some power over here. Until that happens, be careful with transports. Jets, speaking of transports, lagging, leave them alone. Banking, really not doing too much of anything. Has a decent base, but it needs to push through, and I'll draw the line to help you. By the way, I try to go through this as quickly as possible so the video isn't too long. I don't want to make it too taxing. There we go. Just basing there. But it's overall not a lot of power, okay? Be careful. I think there's better fish to fry. Real estate, insurance is basing. It needs to take out this line, and I'm going to clean this line up. Here's the weekly. This is why we look at you look at the weekly, you go, that doesn't look too bad. And I'll do this for you on the daily. There you go. This is the same line. It's nothing fancy. What does it need to do? Insurance, take out this top with volume. It also tells you something else. Maybe looking at some insurance stocks. There we go. Regional banking, not a lot of power there, really. Okay, there's better fish to fry. I'd leave that alone. Mid-cap, lagging. I mean, look at this. I told you that, there's not a lot of power there. Be cautious with mid-cap stocks. Oil services, lagging, leave them alone. Pharmaceuticals, dropping here, leave it alone. Leave pharmaceuticals alone. QQQ. Oh, look at this. NASDAQ 100. I show you the MDY not looking so good. Look at this, right near highs. Yeah, that's good to see, isn't it? Maybe it's going to take that out. The best thing it could do is form a little handle here on the daily and or the weekly. Also, it rallied up on a drop off in volume. So it's chasing price here. Let it consolidate a little bit there. Probably be a good thing. Same thing's true with QLD, lagging a little bit. Okay, there was a base right here where small QLD starting. Here's what I like about this. It picked up on a pickup in volume across these tops. So we'll watch and see what happens. But NASDAQ 100 stocks. You think NASDAQ 100? You know what I think? I think about my list, the max list that I put together a long time ago. I'll put that list up against anything else I've seen out there. And I'm not kidding. There's years of research in that. And I call it sweet potato pie. Retailing, it's acting okay, kind of choppy up there. Be careful with retail. Cloud computing doesn't look too bad, but it needs to push through these weekly tops, and it needs to push through these daily tops with volume. I mean, look, it tails down here. The next day it goes up. Oh, and then they take it right back down. All right, kind of loose. So not a lot of conviction there. Just be a little cautious there. Silver, this is why you don't chase gap up, folks. Do you see where this opened? Oh, it's a big gap up, boy. This is where it's going. I'm telling you, please be careful chasing gap ups. So we're going to talk here a little bit about this. We're going to go further. So you guess, well, Pat, I really want it. It's gapping up. What do I do? Here's what you can do to minimize risk. You can't eliminate risk, folks, but you can minimize it. How? If you buy a gap up, start small, small. And if it falls, sell it for a very small loss. If it continues going up, you could add more, but go small. Chasing gap ups is very risky. It's also something else. It's highly emotional. Chasing big gap ups is highly emotional. And I'll say it again, high emotions and good investing are mutually exclusive, okay? Statistical talk here. Here we go. Steel, lagging, look at this. Look at all this overhead supply. Nothing to do with not leadership, move on. SMH, still kind of lagging. I'd be careful with semiconductors. Semiconductor, another ETF, lagging, leave it alone. SSO needs to take out these tops here, and you can see there's a tail bar here and here and here, and the start of another one here. It's a little sloppy, but on the weekly, it doesn't look too bad, okay? So now I'll draw the line for you. I try to go fast enough, like I said on these videos, so that it's not too long and tedious for you. There you go. Just move across those tops, but it needs to do it on volume. But note, look at this selling bar right here. They knocked the tar out of it. Now you can say they supported it. That's a big gap down. Reversal bar here, and another big gap down, and a reversal bar here. And then it lifted up on good volume. That's the one thing that I like. There's good buying there, but it needs to push through those tops, and it needs to do it with volume. Solar, that's a flare out. Leave them alone. Small caps, lagging, leave it alone. Oil, U.S. oil, leave it alone. By the way, the names are up here. The ticker symbol, the name of what it is up here. I'm sure you know it. Aerospace and defense, they're grounded. Leave it alone. Biotechnology, lagging, leave it alone. Home builders, lagging, leave them alone. Building, build things with, house, lagging, leave it alone. XLC, communications doesn't look too bad. Something to look into. Technology related. By the way, now I'll say it. Did you notice what's the primary theme here with strength? What's showing strength in all these ETFs? Technology related, growth related. That's where money's going. And you can see it in the individual charts. You'll see it in the max list. Energy, leave it alone. Financials are just basing here, but still kind of choppy. Be cautious with that. Industrials, lagging, leave it alone. There's XLK starting to pick up some here. Okay, shows a lot more strength than some of the other ETFs. Goes across these tops here. And yes, we are involved with technology. Big time. Consumer staples, still kind of underperforming, leave it alone. Utilities, there's nothing there, leave it alone. Healthcare's nothing, leave it alone. Consumer discretionary, lagging, leave it alone. Metals and mining, lagging, leave it alone. Oil, another energy ETF, leave it alone. Retail, there's nothing there, folks. I mean, look, by the way, you can say, you just kind of went through these. I'm not going to burden you with an over-analysis. You can see it in the charts. On the weekly, there's no power. On the daily, there's no power. Don't overanalyze it. I've been doing this a long time, okay? And I will tell you, simplicity is a good thing. I'm not being cute and funny. I'm speaking from my heart, okay? I'm trying to help. Focus on things that are simpler. You will do better. You don't need elaborate systems. I've tried them. You can say, oh, come on, you're just a joker. No, I taught advanced statistics on a university level. My final was 24 pages typed. So yeah, I'm serious about analysis. There you go. Oh, and I got good teacher evaluations too. And no death threats. Here we go. Several different universities in the Midwest. Software isn't looking too bad here. Kind of see it on the daily. Doesn't look too bad on the weekly. Basing here. What is it? Technology related. Growth. Love that. Spiders. Basing up here. What do spiders need to do? Look, lifts up here. Got to take this out. Got to start moving up. That's what we need to see. But it is a nice base up here, and I like that. QQQ, same situation. Nice base.
All right. Great insights from Pat, as always. Let's quickly highlight the big takeaways before we move into today's main lesson. This week, the ETF landscape is clear. Technology and growth are leading, with strength in QQQ, QLD, ARKK, and software-related ETFs. Biotech, energy, and small caps are weak. There's no edge in those sectors right now. The NASDAQ 100 is basing near highs, looking for a breakout. The S&P 500 needs volume to confirm its next move. That means our focus is on tech, growth, and institutional favorites. Now, let's talk about this week's core lesson. David Landry said it best, "I will believe in what I see, not in what I believe." And that's exactly what separates successful traders from everyone else. How many times have you hesitated on a clean breakout because it felt too extended, or held onto a bad trade thinking it should turn around? That's how traders get in trouble. They let opinions override price action. Here's how to avoid that. Trust the signposts. Strength is in tech and growth. If that's where the money is flowing, that's where we focus. Set clear rules. If a setup is valid, we take it. If a stock is failing, we cut it. No hesitation. Use proper positioning. Start small, let the trade prove itself, and never fight the tape. This week, some of the MAXLIST names are setting up, while others are still basing. If you are enjoying the video so far, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. You might also notice the new join button. You can now join as a member here on YouTube for a small preview of what our full VIPs get on our website. If you are interested in that, let us know in the comments. So let's turn it back over to Pat for a deep dive into this week's MAXLIST stocks.
Apple, you can see it runs up and drops. It runs up and drops. And here's the weekly chart for analysis too. There you go. Simple tops there, folks. Here's the daily. Across here. It's simple tops. And you hit a high here, and you hit a high here. Needs to take that out. Take those tops out. That's what we're looking for. Weekly basing, daily, but note, there's some overhead supply in here. All right. Also, this is really loose. And look what it did here. It ran up and dropped like a rock on heavy volume. Tells us there's sellers here. This is a loose pattern. Loose patterns, and again, you have to be very pragmatic in the analysis. Loose patterns tells us high investor emotions. Oh God, it's going down. I'm selling. I gotta get out. Oh, it's running up. Let's go. Oh gosh, it peaked. I'm selling. You don't want to get wrapped up in that. Okay. Calm is a good thing. All right. Calm is good in sailing, calm seas. And I love this quote, by the way. May the wind always be at your back. I love that thought. Here we go. Let's buy stocks when the wind is at our back. All right, let's continue onwards. Be nice if this could base a little longer and then take off. If it does lift through there, just go smaller because it is awfully loose and choppy. Just got to lay that out there. Amazon. This lift across these tops right here. Okay, and you can see I already have the alert set, folks. And I'm going to drop it down just a bit. It needs to lift off of here, and it needs to do it. Get rid of that little arrow. And it needs to do it with volume across these tops. By the way, you can't catch me in a lie. I've already got the price alert set on that baby. Look, you can say, well, you don't have it set, taking out the 50-day. You've got it set a little early. Yeah. This is a great lesson. Don't set your price alerts at the pivot. Set them a little early. Okay? That way it'll go off and you have a chance to look at it and study price and volume without the stock breaking out as it's approaching the pivot to make clear decisions with less stress because it's not breaking out yet. I'm just studying price and volume. I've used this tactic since the last century and it works. Okay? By the way, that's the late 1900s. Let me clarify, okay? Not the late 1800s. Anyway, there's the base on AMZU, okay? And you can say the same thing with AMZN. Can AMZN lift across this top? By the way, same analysis. Oh, and notice, I already have the price alert set. Also notice this. It fell on fairly heavy volume on last week. or the second to last week. Last week, it fell on much less volume. Support on the 50-day. I'm not saying it's going to break out. I'm not saying it's going to run. Nobody knows the future, okay? But I will tell you this from looking at millions of charts, over time, and emission winners is what I try to share, you develop an acumen for what has the greatest probability to make money. There you go. Let's move on here. What do you say? AMZU, same situation. We covered it. Let's move on here. Alibaba. Look at this. Watch this. Oh, I love this. What is that? Gosh, I think that's a cup and a handle. Yeah. And look what it does. See the volume pickup on that bar? See the gap up, then it pulled back and it starts to lift? Yeah, we bought this. And it's working. It's simplicity. I mean, again, it's a dang cup with a handle and it's taken off. That's what we're after. And then what else do we do? Sold more or bought some? We're in great shape. I think we sold a little bit. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. But we're in great shape. We're just going to let it work. Let it work and see where it goes. Let's sell it all and take the gain. No, limit losses. Don't limit profits. So we let her work. There we go. And it's a simple base, folks. There we are. Continue onward. BIDU had a base here, but there's a lot of chop in this, okay? Starting to pick up, and look, it gaps up and it closes below where it opened. It gaps up and it closes in the bottom half of its range. It's met with sellings. It's kind of choppy here. Be careful with that, all right? I mean, oh, look, it goes up and it drops down. It goes up and it gaps down. It goes up and it gaps down. Be a little cautious with stuff like that. Just, maybe it'll form a better pattern in here. We'll have to see. Goldman Sachs, working for us. We're going to hit entries back in here, and it's just trending. It's just trending, okay? Where's it going to go? I don't know, but it bounced off the ADMA on a pickup in volume, and you see these tops right here? And I'll draw this to help you. And that's close enough. Take out those highs and take them out with a pickup in volume. Could be a buy or an add-on. However, it is a shorter base here. How do you lessen risk or control risk? If you buy less shares. Good investing is not one size fits all. I will tell you that right now, okay? So, and always focus on simple patterns that are easy to see. It increases the probabilities that you see it and others see it, which increases the probabilities they will buy also. There you go. Goldman Sachs taking out these types, and I do like the slight volume pickup. Let's go rock and roll on. Here we are. MasterCard's basing right here. Needs to go across these tops, lifting off the ADMA. There's a downward sloping trend line. It's going to need some real power. I do like, though, what it did, and I'll draw this to help you. What it did the last 2 days, or excuse me, the last week. Oh, look, it ran up and backed off. Close near the highs on this bar, close near the highs on this bar, close near the highs on this bar. Folks, they're buying it. They ain't selling it. Maybe it's going to lift off. Something to watch this coming week on MasterCard, MAXLIST stocks. Meta, simple base on the weekly. Simple base, and I'll put a new line on here. Let's clean that out. I talked about this with the team. I do believe at least 6 times before it broke out. Hey, I kind of like this base. I like this base. This is a MAXLIST stock. I like how this is spacing. It's very constructive. Yeah. Oh, it looked pretty good on the weekly too. Look at this. Look at that lift. There you go. And folks, again, I can't stress, oh, it's some fancy ass pattern. No, it's not. A 4th grader could look and say, hey, just going sideways here, mom and dad, and you'd say, please don't draw with crayons on the computer screen. Anyway, there you go. And I can say that I didn't have any, none of my kids did this, but anyway, you're talking to a guy who's got 4 kids running around. 4 grandkids now too. Wow. Anyway, but note the trend up the ADMA. Yeah, we still in it? Oh yeah. Yeah. Are we riding trends? Yeah. Yeah. Where's it going to stop? I don't know. I'm not being funny. We don't know the future. Here's a fact for all of us. When we accept the fact we don't know the future, we see the future more clearly. There you go. Let's rock and roll on here. I don't want to take too much of your time. Microsoft, nothing there. Leave it alone. You see that? You don't have to overthink it. Look, it's junk. Nothing there for right now. It'll turn eventually, but right now there's better fish to fry. Netflix is working for us, and it's trendy, and we're in good shape with this. And note the trend up the ADMA. And we're just going to let it work. Where's it going to go? I'll raise that. Alerts. These are not stops. These are just alerts. We're just watching, see what happens. We've added to it. We just Let her work. NVIDIA starting to pick up. Started to pick up right here on a slight pickup in volume. MAXLIST stock. What else was it doing, folks? It was pushing through right here, the 50-day moving average line. And we like that a lot. And you can see it. It's lifting up. Where's it going to go? I don't know. Maybe we'll add to it. I'm not sure. But it's a good start. The one thing I wish, I'd like a little more volume. Okay, let me clean that bar up. There you go. I'd like a little bit more up volume. So we'll watch and see what happens. Okay, if it does, we'll add to it. NVDA, similar situation. I like these derivatives of NVIDIA, etc. You can get in the stock for less price. It's just 136 bucks. You can get in this for 64 bucks. Okay, now there's no clean entry in it right now, though. Okay, just want to share that with you. Tesla. We haven't owned Tesla in a long time. There's nothing there. And I love this stock. Fortunes have been made in this stock with our VIPs. You can say, yeah. Right there. Look at the weekly base breakout. I can't make this stuff up. We owned that. Yeah. And it's a MAXLIST stock. There you go. Is there anything to do with it now? No, it's loose and choppy. It's below the 50-day. Leave it alone for now. But simple base entry. Here's the weekly. I'll drive the point home. There's the daily base. And look at that lift. Look at the volume came into it. And you're off to the races. We didn't sell at the top. You don't sell at the top. But that haven't made more than 200-point move, folks. 200 points. That's serious coin. TSLL, same situation. All right. Direxing, this is lower priced way to play Tesla. Nothing there right now. Just leave it alone. And then Visa, lifting up across these tops. And it's working. And I'll make this a little bigger and this a little bit. And it's just facing is working. It's vanilla. Note the trend of the 8 EMA. Walking up the 8. Trends pay more than anything else you do. XYZ, this is the old square. Now it's called block. Okay. And oh, by the way, you can say, well, what do you mean? They changed their name. This company used to be Square, SQ. What a run. This was a MAXLIST. That was a great run for us many times. Right now, there's nothing there. I'm just chopping. Leave it alone. That's it.
Another solid breakdown from Pat on the MAXLIST. A quick recap. Some names are pushing higher, while others are still forming bases. Pat's insights give us a clear roadmap for where to focus this week. At Mission Winners, we produce a key list every single day ahead of the next day's market open, complete with precise trigger prices that provide you with a clear roadmap for the day's best opportunities. If you want to follow the action in real time, be sure to visit missionwinners.com to learn more about our VIP membership. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and stay ahead of the trade. That's it for today. Until next time, master your strategy, trust the process, and maintain your edge.